I really need to stop ignoring my dad. Yeah, gotta stop doing that. It's definitely not a good thing, especially if I want to get invited for Thanksgiving and Christmas and even possibly get a present or two. But anyways, so this is my dad's computer. He's had this for a while, and my dad was the one that actually got me into computers. He bought us our first computer, and of course I messed things up, and we all messed things up, and long story short, it started the saga of us getting into this whole computer thing. We used to build computers back in the day for his coworkers, make a couple of dollars and some easy upgrades. It was quite fun, and I've actually continued that since, kind of flipping computers, budget builds, and stuff like that. So today, I got to give his computer some love and attention because, well, I've neglected his computer along with him. So this is my dad's rig over here. It's a Thermaltake case. I forget which one it is. I'll put the model up somewhere over here if I ever figure it out. It has a DVD drive and whole hot swappable hard drive because, well, he likes to use a different hard drive just for his other stuff, and then one hard drive for banking. Well, not hard drive, solid state drives. And he uses the whole DVD thing. Well, I don't know why he uses it, but he has it. It's got an i7 8700K, which is still a good CPU, and we're not going to be upgrading that today, maybe for a future upgrade. It has a GTX 1080, which the 1080 is actually still a pretty good card, but for what he's using it for recently, it's showing itself. Nice big massive Be Quiet cooler, and a good old EVGA Supernova 750 watt power supply. Pretty decent. He's got the Noctua NF-F12 PWN. He's got two over here, one in the back, and they do a real good job of applying airflow. Never had a heating issue with it, so pretty decent fans considering, and I'm very proud of my dad because he has the whole zip tie action going, so that's approved. So in this video, we're going to do a few upgrades. We're going to pop out this 1080, thermal paste, clean it up, fresh copy of Windows, as throughout the years, different updates and different hardware swaps have caused a lot of corruption in it, which is causing his game not to work properly, and we're going to get that fixed. So I'm going to go ahead and do the right thing, and I'm just going to upgrade him to this 750 Ti. Nope, definitely a bad idea. I got this Asus Strix 2070 that I was using for my ITX build, but I recently got a new graphics card for it. Hopefully I'll have a video for that going, and this 2070 should be more than enough for what he's trying to do with it. Now, he's gotten into the whole VR thing with the flight sim, enjoys playing that, and the 1080 with the flight sim, it's playable, but you're losing out on a lot of features. There is stutters. It's tough to get it at 60 frames per second, even at 1080p. It's rough, and then you plug in the whole VR thing, it really lags. So that 2070 should be more than enough to get this thing going and create a better playable experience. So let's get this thing cleaned up, fresh copy of Windows, take this thing out, and yeah, let's give it some good love. And I could finally say that I didn't ignore my dad this year. I mean, one day out of 365 is not bad, right? All right, before I dust everything off, I want to get a lot of this stuff off that we're not going to use. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're actually going to take off this graphics card. And I'll probably repurpose this. Maybe my younger brother could probably use it. I think he's rocking a 1070. So this should be a little upgrade for him, and then that 1070 I could repurpose. So the good thing about family is upgrade them, and then their old stuff you can repurpose it or flip it and build. So that's always been kind of convenient. Now the next thing I want to do is take off this cooler. This Be Quiet cooler runs fantastic. I've used it on my 5950X and a lot of high-end builds, and she definitely gets the job done. But she's a little dusty, and considering it's been probably years since we've changed this thermal paste, it's probably a good idea to do it. Cheap insurance. As much as I love these Be Quiet coolers, it is quite a pain to take them off because of the fan. Got two Phillips right over here. Take these out. Thermal paste is a little dry. It's not terrible, but fresh thermal paste will kind of make this thing run a little better. Alright, got the thermal paste cleaned up. Everything's looking better. So let's go ahead and just give it a quick dusting. All right, all cleaned up, ready to go, looking marvelous, fresh thermal paste, and so far things are running pretty good. Installing the whole Windows 11, we'll get this figured out. Then we'll do the whole BIOS update, drivers, install the new Flight Sim, which is probably going to take us 435 days because it is a huge game. And once we do that, we'll play a little bit and see how well this 2070 performs. Several days and hours and years later, thanks to the Flight Sim and its huge files for downloading. I was like 200 gigs, and the way Spectrum does my internet in this area over here is quite horrible. You pay for a speed, but you get nothing remote near it. They blame it on me. They can't fix it. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, Spectrum is the only internet service provider I have in my area. Oh well. Hopefully some other ones should be opening up soon. But I digress. So this was way overdue. Definitely way overdue. Cleaned everything up. Fresh thermal paste popped in the 2070. Raised the fan curves just a little bit because these Nocturas, we had them silent at 300 RPMs. Raised them to about 600-700 RPM. Same thing with the CPU fan. That was only running at 400. I mean, although this thing ran really cool and quiet, ramped them up a little bit where it's still inaudible, but it'll help keep things cooler when you start learning the games. So Flight Sim is installed, and let's go ahead and do a quick flight, and let's see how this thing runs. So 1080p, high settings, ready to fly. So let's kind of see how this thing, and I don't really play this game much, or I don't play this game at all. Alright, so GPU is 100%, CPU is 37%, but I can say this, playing it at high settings, and with this compared to the 1080, we're at average, I would say 70 frames per second. With the 1080, we were kind of in the 40-50 range, but this actually looks a lot better as we're able to increase the graphic quality of it. It runs smoother. I am crashing horribly, but that's pretty cool. We got some dips to the 60, but still a lot smoother, a lot better. Looks good, and this will actually be a better experience for the whole VR setup that my dad has going, so very happy with this. Now, of course, with some tweaking and some other settings that we can do, we could probably make this thing run a lot better, and I'll work more with that on camera. As I'm new to the Flight Sim, and there's a lot of tweaks and mod for it, so if you have any suggestions, definitely comment down below and let me know about that. But I will say, yeah, people, don't neglect your parents. It's my dad's computer. He's had it for a while. It's pretty decent. i7 8700K with the RTX 2070, and yeah, with a fresh copy of Windows, new BIOS updates, everything clean, fresh from the beginning. This thing is running fantastic. He'll be good to go and have an enjoyable flying experience. So I got to thank my dad. He's always been there. Great guy. And he's the one that kind of got me into computers, cars, and everything else. And got to take care of your parents because tomorrow's not promised. So very thankful for him. So comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticism, questions. Definitely put them in the comment box. If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, we'll see what we come up with next.